Hi guys, it's Ray from Ray's Turquoise Turtle. Um, I'm going to do a quick little panel with alcohol inks. Um, I got, um, I think I have 8 of the new colors of the Tim Holtz Ranger line of alcohol inks, and I got all of the new alloy metallics. Um, the alloys work differently than the mixatives. They almost create, sorry, I'm shaking it up. They almost create like a gold leaf around the edges. They like draw together. They don't overtake um, your inks like the old mixatives did. I didn't tend to ever use the mixatives because of that, but the alloys, I've done one project so far and I really liked it. So I'm going to dive in and do a second small project with it. So all this is one of those little wooden boxes I got. To create the surface to ink on, all I did was laminate it with a white piece of glossy Oracal 651 permanent adhesive vinyl. So that gave me a surface to work on with the inks. Let me throw my gloves on and I'll show you the one that's sitting over here with resin on top of it, drying now as a finished piece. When I'm done, you'll see on the other one, I will paint the sides. For now, I'm just leaving them plain because it won't affect the project at all. I'm going to try and keep the inks all on the surface, and if any does run over, I can paint over it. So let me grab the other one that's currently wet. This was the first one I did. Sorry about the glare from the ring light. But you can see how the alloys bunch together. And then this one I just painted the edges when I was finished with a color that coordinates with, in this case, the green that I used. And that green blue was actually the Laguna from the new line. So I'm going to set this back down and change these gloves out before I get started because now I have resin on the gloves. I literally just coated this 20 minutes ago. So that is what I'm going for today. I am going to keep gloves on because alcohol inks, I don't want to stain my hands. I am probably going to use a straw to blow the inks. Not terribly recommended. If you use a straw, you need to try to remember to not inhale while you're over the piece, to turn your head away before you draw your next breath. I do have a thing of canned air, but I don't know where the straw is for that, so I'm not sure if I can get it to burst in small enough puffs to not be a disaster, but I'm going to try that first. In this new line of alcohol inks, Tim Holtz does have a little squeezy thing to blow the inks. I do have one of those ordered. It's just not here yet, along with the other, I think, 7 colors of the new inks I'm missing. So for this project, I'm going to use the blending solution. The blending solution has a resin in it. It is not just an alcohol. You need to use this to bind the alloys. If you don't use a little bit of this, and it only takes a tiny bit, but if you don't use it, you'll be able to like wipe the alloys back off. So I'm going to be using that. I've got a little bottle with just 91% alcohol in it. The alloy I'm going to use on this one is Statue. I haven't used it yet. I'm going to use the new Everglades, the new Mojito, the new Monsoon, and the new Glacier. I have not used any of these colors yet, so I don't know how they're going to look. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have a couple of little squares of paper towel ready just in case. And well, that is it for supplies on this project. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and we'll see what we get. First, I'm going to open them all up. I don't typically worry about keeping my caps separate, especially these are all brand new bottles. The cap shouldn't be contaminated yet. I do shake my inks up. I don't worry about leaving my caps uncovered because the way these bottles are designed, it'll draw the ink back in and almost seal itself. So some people's videos say, oh, don't leave them open, close them between every drop. It's unnecessary. All right, so I'm going to start with just a little bit of the plain alcohol because that'll give the ink some movement and some flow. I'm not going to use any of the blending. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and put just a couple random drops. So I'm going to start with, I guess, the Everglades. I'll put a few drops. Now, this is why I'm worried about the canned air. I have, that's a lot of fluid for canned air. But we'll see if I can gently puff. Really, I wish I had a Lazy Susan for this to just spin them around, but I'm sorry if I don't talk a ton. It's just trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. This one is the Glacier. It's a beautiful, vibrant blue. All of the new inks from this line were supposed to be formulated to be more vibrant than we're used to seeing. If you feel like you got too much or it's not evaporating quick enough, you can blot some of the excess off. If you end up with too much, that's when your piece can start to get muddy. So I'm just gonna, for now, this is the Mojito. I'm not sure how different it'll be from the Everglades. And then the Monsoon should be a bluish gray, I would think. I'll give that just a little drop of the solution. You can tell my table's not level by the direction things are running, but that's all right. It's just freeform art. Oops. Okay. I'm going to put a little more of the Glacier in the middle because I don't have a lot of blue towards the center right now. This is the regular isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to go to the straw for a minute. Sorry, I'll probably end up with my hair in the shot a little bit here and there. Now I do want to blot some of that off because you can see where the edge is going to start to get muddy. The nice part about working with this on the glossy vinyl is if I decide I don't like this, I can pour alcohol on it and wipe the entire thing right off, and it'll go right back to white, and I can just start over. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put a couple drops of the alloy on. That was a little bit much right there. I'm going to put some of the blending solution on the alloy. Just a drop or two, because remember, you do need it to bind. I'm going to go ahead and just drip a random drop of color in the center of each one of those. But you can see where the alloy is like chasing to the edges. That's what it does, and it'll try and draw back towards itself instead of staying separated. I think I'm going to put a little bit more on here because I do want some good thick lines. So with inks, until you fully seal a project, you're never truly done. You can rework an ink project for hours. Because you can keep adding alcohols and sort of reactivating that ink. And I do want to get some of that. This one's called Statue. It's a gold color. I do want to get some of that down here on this edge. I'm going to bring in another drop of Monsoon. Drop another drop of Glacier on there. Try and break that up a little bit. Okay, so what I don't like when it comes to a piece like this is I don't like when I get runs like this and odd splotches like this. I don't mind what's going on here. I do want to try and get some more of the gold out to the edges, because I'm just personally not a fan of like this look. So I'm going to start in this corner and try and touch some of that up a little tiny bit. I mean, inks will do what they want. You have some level of control, but they always do their own thing, to some extent. So, you just kind of have to keep working it and playing it. But I'm going to see if I can push some more of this that way without adding more. You can see it trying to pull back to itself. That's what the alloys are going to do. Sorry, my dog is whining in the background. He's pretty clingy today. But I like that better now that it's got a little bit of the leafing around it. When I'm done with this, I'm going to let it sit for a couple days. Probably, at least until tomorrow, before I put a coat of resin on it. Just to make sure the inks have a really good time to evaporate. Alcohol evaporates really quickly to begin with, but I want to make sure that that blending solution, the resin in that, has a chance to set up the alloy and do what it needs to do. I will probably paint the edge of this one some shade of green, or maybe a blue in the glacier range. I'm not going to put any kind of hanger on these ones because they really could go any direction you'd like, and I don't want to take that choice away from somebody. And I'm getting that a little bit muddy in there, so I'm going to go ahead and blot some of that out. But I think that I might get a little bit more. I feel like this is a very straight line. I want to get at least some part of that edge to the edge. So I think I'm going to do right in here a drop, and I think I'm going to go with the Monsoon over here. And maybe a tiny drop of the Mojito also, just to chase some more of that. But I think overall I'm pretty happy with that. So again, just a quick little easy playing with the new inks. Once it gets under resin, it's going to shine and be beautiful. And I'm just going to set this aside to let it dry. And then I will paint the sides and go ahead and resin it tomorrow sometime. That was it. Quick and easy. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and ask them. I can see where the new colors are definitely more vibrant in these two pieces I've done so far. I'm actually going to switch gears and do a different set of colors. Actually, I'm going to use the same exact colors except for the alloy on a tumbler in just a minute to see if I can get this leafed edge kind of watercolor effect onto a tumbler. So I'm going to end this video and I am going to make sure I have all my supplies gathered for that project, and I'm going to jump right into that one next. Thanks for watching. Bye.